Filling forms is time-consuming, annoying, and error-prone, so instead of typing the data manually, we improve the user experience by providing autofilling for text fields such as name, email, username, credit card information, address, and phone number. To make use of autofill and its functionality of spending less time for filling fields, you need to have at least Android Oreo version 8.0 or higher and iOS 10.0 or higher. And Flutter Web is of course also supported. Let's get started theoretically by looking at how the autofill service works. In general, users can choose an autofill service app on their device such as Dashlane, Keeper, 1Password, or also the autofill service app Google, which is enabled by default. These apps store then globally the user data such as the name, emails, passwords, addresses, payment methods, and phone numbers of the user. Now comes your Flutter app into play, which can then access this data which is stored globally and then use this data to fill text fields and forms in your Flutter app. If you want to modify your globally stored user data or select another autofill service app, you can simply go to your settings, search for autofill services, click autofill service, autofill Google, click add service to select another autofill service, then Google. If you want to change your autofill user data, click on settings. Here you can go to the different sections to add and modify your user data. So it's really important to notice that if you haven't supplied your user data, for example your address, your payment methods or whatever, then it couldn't be displayed later within the dialogues we use in this upcoming practical part. Let's become practical by autofilling a name text field. Therefore you create a name text field with autofill hints name. And then you see this name dialog. Next, we want to autofill an email text field, create again a text field and include the autofill hints email to create an email suggestion dialog. Let's autofill multiple information at once, so we create a first name and also a last name text field. For the first name you need to add autofill hints given name, and for the last name add as a hint family name. Lastly, you need to wrap an autofill group widget around both text fields so that users need to tap only once to autofill multiple and related text fields. Next, we will autofill the address, create again a text field and add a postal address hint to your text field. Now the user can choose his home, work or any other location. Let's also autofill the phone number, create a text field and add the telephone number hint for showing phone number with country code. Add instead telephone number national as hint if you don't want the country code to be included. As a result, the user can comfortably select his phone number. Next, we want to autofill the user's credit card information. Therefore, add two text fields with the card number and security code, and also add the hints credit card number and credit card security code. Again, like before, wrap an autofill group widget around both fields to ensure that related fields are autofilled together with a single tab. With this, a dialog will pop up with all the user's credit cards inside. Furthermore, we want to autofill username and password together. Therefore, add text fields with username and password hints. During the sign up, the username and password needs to be saved by calling the finish autofill context method. And this saves then the username and password within your autofill service app, which the user can then later access again during the login process. Similarly to this, we can autofill email and password. Therefore, add two text fields with email and password hints. Call finish autofill context during the sign-up to persist the email and password of your user in your autofill service app. During login, the user can then access again the saved email and password. Let's also look at two more important things. First of all, if you face any errors in autofilling your text fields, make sure that autofilling is enabled on your device, that if your user data has changed within the autofill app or on the website, that you also need to hot restart your Flutter app, that if you run your Flutter app on the emulator, it doesn't work by default, you need to install the autofill service and configure your user data. Secondly, if you run your Flutter app as a web application, make sure that the browser autofill service has your user data. Therefore, simply go to your browser settings and search for autofill and then add and modify here also your user data. And by the way, if you liked this video, then make sure to subscribe to my channel.